The fishing news is brought to you by Navionics, Okuma, Yozori, Evinrude, and the Star Island Yacht Club in Montauk.
Hi there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. You know, I was prepping my notes and getting everything together for this video, and I saw something outside I have not seen in a while, so I just had to run out and check it out. It apparently is the sun. We have not been seeing much of it this week. It's been all wind and rain, but nonetheless, still some good fishing going on. Fluke action is much better this week. We had the big Fluke to You Puke tournament over the weekend, which I'll get to in a minute, but I'm going to start off this week's video with word on striped bass. All right, let's see. I heard from Fisherman contributor Nick Canaris. He got out under that big full moon that we had this week. Said he was targeting some shallow water with surface plugs and had some very good action on stripers. Now, I've been getting word of some improved bass reports east of Norwalk, finally, as isolated pods of bunker seem to be making their way through the sound and presumably fueling this bite. With guys like Jason down at Bobby J's in Milford, you know, they've been getting consistent, regular stock of fresh bunker in the shop. Those of us further to the east have been going without for the most part this spring. That finally started changing over the weekend as some schools of bunker started hitting the Connecticut River area. Heard from a couple of boaters that ran into them, and then Joe over at River's End in Old Saybrook had a nice drop of freshies on Monday morning, for example. People jumped right on this after he posted up on Facebook. Surf fisherman friend of mine stomped in the shop, grabbed a few fresh bunker, kept them nice and cool for the day, and took them out chunking on Monday night. Didn't have really good action as far as numbers, but the one big fish he did land was a solid low 30-pound class striper, which he quickly released after a quick battle. Nice heavy gear, circle hook. The fish took off. Basically none the worse for the situation. And then, as I've recently reported, Captain Greg over at the Blackhawk has been running his night bass trips for the season. And the last couple outings showed some major improvements, with fish over 40 pounds fighting it out for top honors in the pool on each trip. Now, these trips that he runs are primarily done three-way in bucktails in spots like the Race, out around Montauk, and some of Greg's other honey holes. And Tuesday night's trip produced really good results. They had bass to 42 pounds taken home the pool and a bunch of 20 and 30 pound class fish caught around the boat. Now remember, these trips are all by reservation only, limited load trips. They schedule them based on the moon, around the tide, so they're always kind of changing. So you got to call the office today at 860-448-3662. Double check when they're going and reserve your spot. And as always, be sure to let them know that you heard about the trips, as well as the good bite they've been getting on from us here at the Fisherman magazine. Now, let's see, moving along onto those fluke reports. Heard from Fisherman subscriber Andrew Kolazedge. He sent me a great picture of his daughter Audrey. She got an 8.5-pound fluke recently while the family was fishing off the southeast corner of Block Island. Now, when I was talking to Andrew, he wanted to make it clear, made a point to note that Audrey was wearing her life jacket while they were out on the water, and the photo without her wearing the life jacket was taken back home near the boat ramp while the boat was anchored up. They stopped, took a couple of quick shots, and as always, safety is a high priority on the boat, so she's always wearing that life jacket while they're out there. And as noted earlier, the annual Fluke to You Puke tournament was held this past weekend with more than 1,200 anglers from the Northeast and beyond battling it out for that top spot. First place went to Bill Robinson with a 10.2-pound fish. Second place was secured by Nino Aversa and his 9.74-pound fluke. And third place was taken by, Eric Lane. He grabbed it at the third spot with a 9.38-pounder. Now, they also had junior, kayak, and women's categories, as well as a full slate of different Calcuttas. And you can check out the full list of winners right now at thefisherman.com. And if you watched last week's video, you saw that regular video contributor TJ Kopecki was participating in the Fluke to You Puke tournament. He was tying rigs, getting ready to head out this week in last week's video. He didn't have a chance to send a video follow-up this week, but he shot me over an email with the results as he said that he worked the south side of Block Island, his usual fluke numbers that he had out there, but unfortunately they were just inundated with dogfish and short flukes on all his drifts. It seemed like a theme. I heard from several other contacts that Block has been seeing its share of dogfish lately. This is both by fluke as well as striped bass fishermen, so they are around right now. TJ did manage a nice 21-inch cod on a fluke rig, as well as a 34-inch striped bass. And he said all in all, it was a great event, and he can't wait to participate again next year. And he also, it wasn't just about fluke for him. He also fished back in his usual haunts on the East Bay, and he said small cocktail blues and schoolie bass can be found at spots like the Warren and Barrington rivers. And he even got out on Tuesday night, fished the Coles River, and got into a bunch of super active, cooperative small stripers. At one point, he said he went 20 fish on 20 consecutive casts on the incoming tide. That's a great outing. I'd take that for sure right now. And one last fluke to you puke note. Spoke with Nino Aversa after he and his South Jersey-based El Nino fishing team had an excellent showing at this year's event. The team took home first or second place in 4 different categories and netted themselves a hefty paycheck along the way. Now, Nino and his team traveled northeast for fluke, and I'll be providing some reports from them as they travel north to take advantage of the great summertime fluke fishing we have here in New England. And then last but not least, black sea bass bite in central Long Island Sound remains excellent from all people that I've spoken with. Heard from Captain TJ at Rock and Roll Charters in Clinton. He said he has been absolutely hammering the black sea bass, and he's reporting some really good striped bass action as well. So this is putting out some really good mixed bag opportunities for his clients. If you haven't sailed with him before, TJ keeps his boat in Cedar Island Marina in Clinton, so it makes for a really short run to some great fishing grounds. So give him a call today at 203-314-3765 and book your trip. And of course, let him know you heard about it from us here at the Fisherman Magazine. Whew, all right, that was a lot. Thanks for sticking all the way through it. As always, I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman Magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
Win the incredible Steigercraft Evinrude Lowrance Grand Prize Boat Package and more in the Fisherman's 2019 Dream Boat Fishing Challenge. Get the details now at thefisherman.com.